Today we're checking out Trail Ridge Road in Rocky Mountain National Park. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Jeff Abel from Estes Park Living with Signature Home Team. Welcome back to our channel. And if you're new here, thanks for joining me. Here we share insights about the real estate market in Estes Park in northern Colorado and give you a glimpse into what it's like to live in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Today we're driving up Trail Ridge Road, and this is a drive I've done more times than I can count, and every time it feels like the mountains are revealing a new secret. Our journey today begins at the Beaver Meadows Visitor Center, and this is your go-to spot for picking up maps, talking to rangers, and getting important updates on the weather, any wildlife sightings, and road conditions before you hit the park. One of the cool features here is this map of the park, so you can actually check in, see where you are, and see where we're headed up to the top of Trail Ridge Road. There's the Visitor Center. This building was designed by the Frank Lloyd Wright architectural firm, and if you look closely, you'll see those signature low lines and natural materials. Before you drive up, it's also smart to check your tire pressure, fuel up in town since there are no gas stations once you start climbing. So we're here at 8:37 a.m. We're in line to get into the park here at the Beaver Meadows entrance. The goal is to get in before the 9 o'clock timed entry system kicks in, so I think we're going to be good. But you might want to make sure you're here a little bit early if you don't have a timed entry during the summer season. The lines here can be pretty long. It's really helpful if you already have your park pass and your ID to have those ready as you're getting closer to the station here. That speeds up the process for everybody behind you as well. But if you don't have those, you can buy the passes here also. And we're off. Let's go check out Trail Ridge Road. As you come in, you're going to pass the turnoff to Bear Lake Road. That's going to need a special pass during the peak season, but we're going to stay right on the main road here and head up to Trail Ridge. Now, Trail Ridge Road goes up to just over 12,000 feet. So it's the highest continuously paved road in the country. And we'll talk more about that when we get up to altitude. But this road is going to take us through 3 distinct ecosystems. Right now we're in the Montane system. And the Montane system is going to be characterized by these big open meadows that we're seeing. You're going to have giant ponderosa pines and a lot of wildlife, especially during the fall and winter seasons down at this elevation. The Montane system runs up to about 9,500 feet roughly. The next ecosystem after that is the Subalpine. It runs from 9,500 up to 11,500, and then we'll move into the Alpine Tundra, and we'll talk about each of those as we get into those areas. Something else to be aware of as you're driving up Trail Ridge Road is the temperature change. For every 1,000 feet we gain in elevation, we can lose 3 to 5 degrees in temperature, depending on the time of day. So you're going to definitely want to make sure, even in the summer, that you're bringing layers if you're planning on getting out up at the top at the Alpine Visitor Center. As we start to gain some elevation, over on our right here, you're going to notice there is a junction in the road. If we were to go right, this would take us back over to Horseshoe Park and the Fall River entrance. But to the right is the trailhead to Deer Mountain, a very popular hike here in Rocky Mountain National Park as well. But we're not hiking today. We're going to the Alpine Visitor Center. Okay, we're coming up on our first stop here on our trip up to the Alpine Visitor Center. We're going to make a right turn into Hidden Valley. Now, this is where they make the ranch dressing here in the park, so just joking. We're going to pull up here and we're going to talk a little bit more about Hidden Valley in a moment. Just off Trail Ridge Road, Hidden Valley is a spot with a rich history and plenty of year-round fun. From 1955 until 1991, this was a popular family ski area with lifts, a lodge, and slopes for all skill levels. Many locals learned to ski right here. Today, Hidden Valley is the only place in the park where sledding is allowed in the winter on snowy weekends. It's filled with families racing colorful sleds down the hill. In summer, it transforms into a peaceful spot for a picnic or an easy hike. And in the winter, backcountry skiers also come here to earn their turns in the fresh powder. And in the fall, the aspen here light up a brilliant yellow and cover the hillsides. It's one of my favorite spots for leaf peeping. Also here is the Junior Ranger Station. So if you've got kiddos, you might want to bring them up here and check out the Junior Ranger program, a highlight of our national park system. After a stop at Hidden Valley, our next stop is going to be at Mini Parks Curve, just right up the road a little bit. So you're not going to be in the car for very long. It's a beautiful day, so we decided to take the top down off the Jeep, help share the views a little bit better. Okay, we're coming up on the Mini Parks Curve pull out. What we're going to want to do is be really careful as we come around here. Sometimes they have this blocked off and you can't make a left turn. So there is parking up on the right, but right now it's open. So we're gonna swing in here. Here we are at Mini Parks Curve. It's named for all the open valleys you can see from this one spot. You can see Horseshoe Park, Moraine Park, Beaver Meadows, and the upper Estes Valley. These meadows were all carved by glaciers thousands of years ago. And as they melted, they left behind piles of rocks called moraines, basically nature's bulldozer tracks. Today, elk love to graze in the meadows below, and if you visit in the fall, you'll hear the elk bugling, a sound that's equal parts love song and squeaky hinge. If you come early in the morning or right before sunset, the light across these meadows is spectacular, and this overlook is the perfect place to take in the scale of Rocky Mountain National Park and grab a few amazing photos while you're here. So now that we've left Mini Parks Curve, we're heading on up Trail Ridge Road to our next stop, but you may have noticed the ecosystem has totally changed. We are no longer in those big meadows that we were just looking down on. We've moved up into that subalpine ecosystem. Here you're going to see a lot of aspen groves, but you're also going to see a different kind of pine tree here. So we've moved away from those ponderosa pine, and you'll notice the pine trees are really narrow, really tall, and we've got a lot of lodgepole pines in this part of the road. As we continue to drive up, you're going to notice a lot of dead trees in the area. This is all from beetle kill pine. It's a fire hazard and has been responsible for the quick spread of some of the fires we've had in the Estes Park and Rocky Mountain National Park area over the last few years. One of the great things about Rocky Mountain National Park in the spring and early summer is all the snow melt creates these little waterfalls all throughout the drive up Trail Ridge Road. So we're gonna see this one. They've got some road construction happening right now. So they're doing some work. So we'll just take in this view for a moment. One of the great things about driving up too is if you notice on the left side of the road, there's a drainage ditch. And it, in the spring and summer, is just full of wildflowers as you drive up through here. And we'll see where all that water's coming from here in just a minute. If you want to pull over and see this on foot, you're more than welcome to take this pull out right here. But again, we're just going to kind of keep going. But this area to the left and then to the right is snowmelt and runoff, but it's also the top of what was the ski slopes for Hidden Valley. So an important waypoint on our way between Mini Parks Curve and Rainbow Curve is this pull out where it indicates that we are 2 miles above sea level. which means we're twice as high as the people in Denver, so just keep that in mind. You may start to find it a little bit harder to breathe at this point going further up, so if you get out of the car and walk around, make sure you're taking it easy, especially if you just came from sea level. Let's keep going up to Rainbow Curve. Here we are at Rainbow Curve, and from here you get an amazing look down into Horseshoe Park. That light area down below, spread out like a big fan over on this side, is alluvial fan. In 1982, the old Long Lake Dam failed and sent over 29 million gallons of water roaring down the Roaring River Canyon. It ripped out trees, rolled boulders the sizes of SUVs, and created what is called the alluvial fan, basically nature's own rock dump. Today you can hike right up to it and see the evidence of just how powerful water can be in these mountains. See the rock face up here? Underneath that rock face is where the Long Lake was. So it basically dam burst, flooded the valley. You can see kind of where it's washed out the trees and scattered rocks all the way down through, and then it comes out right down here at the bottom of Horseshoe Park. It's also fun to see the road where we just drove up over on the right side here as well. This is usually where, again, people start feeling the elevation, so take it slow, drink some water, and remember there's no rush out here today. And also there's a bathroom here at the Rainbow Curve Overlook. So stop, take in the views of the valley below, and spend some time here enjoying the beauty of the Rocky Mountains. Okay, as we leave Rainbow Curve, we're going to start to again climb a little bit more in elevation. You're going to start to notice the landscape changing again. If you look over to our right out in front of us, you're going to notice this big indentation on the side of the mountain. This is a glacial cirque. So during the Ice Age, this is where a glacier started and formed Horseshoe Park down below us. We're coming up on one of my favorite parts of Trail Ridge Road. It's not for the faint of heart if you don't like altitude, but as we round this turn, the road's going to open up on each side of us, and you get great views to the left and to the right. Now with all of this open space, you're going to start to see the effects of the wind on the landscape up here. So if you look at these trees over on our left side, you're going to notice that their branches only grow on one side. This is a flagging effect, and it's purely due to the wind up here. So it's known as the Krumholtz effect, and basically it takes the trees, the branches grow on the side that the wind blows towards, not from. And so we get all of these trees with branches just on one side. As we transition from the subalpine, we're going to be moving into the alpine tundra area. And this area you're going to see is mostly going to be above tree line. Again, a very, very fragile ecosystem up here. If you're out hiking in this area, please stay on the trails that are already marked. Walking off the trail, especially several footsteps in the same place, can damage the tundra for up to 1,000 years because things only grow about 40 days a year up here, and they don't grow very big. So as you'll notice, the grasses are not tall, the flowers are low to the ground. Again, a very fragile ecosystem, so please respect it. Trail Ridge Road stretches about 48 miles connecting Estes Park and Grand Lake. For over 11 miles, it stays above 11,000 feet, offering views you won't find anywhere else in Colorado. Driving this road is like traveling from a forest to the Arctic in just a few miles. You go from dense pine trees to open alpine tundra where specialized plants survive brutal conditions and short growing seasons. Because of its elevation, Trail Ridge Road closes every winter when heavy snow takes over. Plows don't start clearing it until May, and even then they sometimes have to dig through drifts 20 feet deep, and it can take weeks just to reopen this stretch. As we're driving, you may notice the poles alongside the road and wonder what those are for. Those are actually to help our snowplow drivers as they prepare the road for spring to know where the edges of the road are. So essentially, as the snow melts, they're plowing between these poles to make sure they don't go over the edge. As we move into the tundra ecosystem, we are going to pull off here on the left. Very popular stop. It's called the Forest Canyon Overlook. And so just be careful crossing the road if there's a lot of traffic coming down the mountain. Forest Canyon Overlook is one of the most stunning stops along Trail Ridge Road. This vast U-shaped valley was carved by glaciers that covered this area thousands of years ago. Down below, you're looking at Forest Canyon with the Big Thompson River winding through it. It's a great place to spot wildlife. Pikas squeaks from the rocks, marmots sun themselves on the boulders, and if you're lucky, you might even catch a glimpse of the Clark's nutcracker stashing seeds. If you stand here quietly, you might hear pikas calling to each other like tiny squeaky toys hidden in the rocks. Be prepared, it's almost always windy here, and the weather can turn in minutes. Early visitors called this spot Windy Corner for a reason. You're standing right along the Continental Divide where storms love to gather before spilling east. It's the perfect place to see the raw forces that shaped Rocky Mountain National Park. So from here at Forest Canyon Overlook, you've got an excellent view of Longs Peak from a different angle here in the background. One of the cool things about Longs Peak is because of its altitude, and just the position in the divide, it creates its own weather pattern. And so you'll see clouds start to form over Longs Peak almost every summer afternoon. So early in the day it's clear, afternoon it starts clouding up. So if you're above tree line like we are now, and clouds start rolling in, you always want to be on the lookout for a thunderstorm, because lightning strikes up here can be devastating. Okay, as we leave Forest Canyon Overlook, you're going to notice this big open area on both sides as we're up in the Alpine Tundra. As we move into the hot months of summer, it's not uncommon to see elk herds up here, eating the fresh growth of the grasses and taking in the cooler temperatures. Again, as a reminder, as we head up in elevation, be sure to drink lots of water and slow down, enjoy the scenery, take your time. There's no rush when you're in the mountains. Okay, our next stop is an area along the road known as Rock Cut, and you can imagine why it is named that. As you can see, they have carved the road through these rock outcroppings to allow us access. Here we are at Rock Cut, and across the road there is a trail that we highly recommend you taking. It's just a short hike up on the tundra, but it gives you amazing views up there. Rock Cut is one of the most impressive stops on Trail Ridge Road. The name comes from the section of the highway being blasted right through solid rock when the road was built in the 1930s. Right now we're standing at over 12,000 feet in the Alpine Tundra ecosystem, so high that trees simply can't survive here. From this overlook, if you look west across the canyon, you'll see the Never Summer Mountains. If you scan down into the canyon, those small lakes shimmering in the distance are Forest Lake and the headwaters of the Big Thompson River. They're glacial tarns. Small mountain lakes form an ancient ice carved out the rock basins. Right here at Rock Cut is also the start of the Tundra Communities Trail across the way. It's a short but steep walk that showcases how the alpine plants have adapted to survive at this elevation, where it can snow any day of the year. Some of these tiny cushion plants have been here for hundreds of years. This is a fantastic place to spot wildlife too. Pikas darting between the rocks, marmots lounging in the sun, and sometimes elk moving across the tundra. We've even seen bighorn sheep here. Generations of families have stopped here to marvel at this view, and it's one of those places that stays in your memory long after you head back down the mountain. It's often windy enough up here to feel like you're in a wind tunnel, so be sure to bring a jacket and keep an eye on the weather. Thunderstorms can blow in fast, and there's nowhere to take cover above tree line. You'll notice there's a big lake down here at the bottom on our left of the canyon. As you move your eyes up and to the right, you'll follow the green grass. And at the base of what looks like a rock slide here, there's a second lake. And then if you continue on up to the right, there's a third lake that you can see some snow reflecting in. And then up to the left above that, there are two additional lakes. And right now it looks like those are still frozen, even here in early July. As we leave Rock Cut, we're gonna come around a couple turns and you're gonna see this snowfield on our right. This is a great place to stop because a lot of times, even in late July, we'll still have snow here. And occasionally you get to come across somebody who's seen snow for the very first time. As we work our way up to lava cliffs, if you look out to the distance in the right, you can make out Old Fall River Road on the mountainside in the distance. Lava Cliffs Overlook is one of the most unique spots along Trail Ridge Road. These cliffs are actually hardened lava from eruptions that happened about 28 million years ago. The dark volcanic rock you see here poured out of volcanoes in the Never Summer Mountains and then cooled off into this rugged wall. Later, glaciers scraped over it, exposing and polishing the surface. Even in summer, you'll notice the snow and ice clinging to the base of the cliffs, some of the last patches of snow to melt every year. It's a stunning reminder of just how many forces, volcanoes, ice, wind have shaped this landscape over the history of the park. Here we are at the Gore Range Overlook with sweeping views of the Gore Range stretching off into the distance. Those peaks are part of the mountain chain that extends south all the way towards Vail. Closer to you, you'll also see the Never Summer Mountains, which are unique because they're some of the only volcanic mountains in this part of Colorado. The name Never Summer comes from the fact that snow can linger up there year-round. Even late August, you might still see some white patches tucked into the north-facing slopes. On especially clear days, you can look all the way into North Park, the high valley beyond the divide. Morning light here really brings out the contrast between the dark volcanic rock and the snowfields. And if you're a geology fan, it's interesting to know that the Gore Range is made mostly of ancient Precambrian granite, some of the oldest rock in North America. Here we are at the Alpine Visitor Center. There's a little bit of traffic today, so again, remembering that you're in the mountains and things happen on mountain time. There's no rush when you're up here, so take your time, enjoy the traffic even, because the views are spectacular even while you're sitting still. The Alpine Visitor Center sits at 11,796 feet, making it the highest visitor center in the entire national park system. Inside, you'll find exhibits that explain how Trail Ridge Road was built and how life survives at this elevation. There's also a panoramic deck where you can look out across dozens of high peaks. In the summer, rangers offer guided talks and short programs right outside. The cafe serves snacks and warm drinks, perfect if the wind is howling. And you'll also find a great little gift shop for souvenirs. Keep in mind that because of heavy snow, the visitor center usually only opens from late May through mid-October. And this is the last set of restrooms before you head back down the mountain. If you're feeling adventurous, the Alpine Ridge Trail, which locals call Huffer's Hill, climbs up even higher. Even fit hikers will feel the altitude up here, so be careful, but the views are worth every step. Well, I hope this drive brought back memories if you've been here before or inspired you to plan your first trip. As a reminder, I'm a licensed real estate agent here in Colorado, so if you have any real estate questions or are thinking about making a move, I'd love to be your go-to resource. And if you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button. It helps our channel grow, and be sure to click subscribe so you don't miss our episode next week. Until then, we'll see you around town.